Hello everyone, welcome to the Dirt Floor Fab YouTube channel. On today's video we're going to be bending up this cage out of some 1 5/8 docol. We're just going to be focusing on the main hoop and this A-pillar bar in this video. So before we get into the video too much, I just want to go ahead and say congratulations to D&Z Garage. He was the winner of the $100 giveaway that we just did on the channel. I apologize for not doing a YouTube video on that. We actually went away on vacation last weekend, so I didn't have time to put out a video. The winner was drawn on Facebook Live, which is in the Facebook group, Dirt Floor Fab Garage Talk. That'll be in the description if you want to join the Facebook page. But congratulations to Zach. He's been contacted. I'm pretty sure he's already got his prize. I think I've heard back from him. So on this video, we're going to be kind of going over the main hoop and this A-pillar bar. It was an absolute struggle, and I'm by no means a professional fabricator. This bar kicked my butt and I almost ruined the main hoop. And I'll kind of go through what I did wrong, and hopefully that steers people in the right direction of doing it correctly the first time rather than wasting. This is docol tubing, so which is a 4130 replacement. It is a little more than $100 a stick if you get it delivered. AED Motorsports is the only place that I've found that you can get it. So you actually have to order it in and get it shipped in. I bought 6 sticks of it and it was $700 and something, almost $800. So it's very pricey. You don't want to make a whole lot of mistakes. Unfortunately, I did it fortunately, I guess depending on how you look at it, I made these mistakes for you. So hopefully you can learn from them. And I'll kind of go over what I did wrong and show you the process of building this. I also want to apologize ahead of time that my mic, I just got to set up my GoPro 7 set up with an external mic, thinking that would bring more quality to the channel. And that actually ended up hindering this video because I taped it almost a week ago and we had mic issues where the mic actually broke. And of course it didn't make itself apparent until I was in the editing stage of the video. And that really sucks. Some of the footage is ruined. A lot of it I made into time lapses. And there is one clip that I'm gonna include in here that's just got a popping noise. And it just is what it is. I can't really get rid of it or change it. I hope you guys understand that. And we'll go to the video. So guys, I made this test piece to indicate start of bend. You can see I have it notched here and end of bend here. And they make a protractor for this that's cut to your certain die parameters, but I didn't want to spend $70 on it, so I just cut this out of mild DON that I had. And we laid it out up here to indicate where the start of bend needed to happen. Drew marks on the ceiling of the car here and over there, and then measured between it. I ended up with a 35 1/4 measurement from my start of each bend. We're going to subtract an inch. Well, I'm going to make it an even 34 just to give us a little bit of space. I'm almost anticipating that I'm going to end up with clearance issues with these rear handles because I'm a bigger guy, and I don't want the bars to run directly into this to where these aren't operable. It's not that big of a deal. Technically you could open the door and roll them up and down, but it's just kind of a forethought. So we're going to give ourselves a 1/2 inch shorter. Hopefully we don't run into that. We'll kind of play it as it goes. We're going to do this first bend, and then we'll work on these we'll do the first 2 bends, then we'll do the 3rd and 4th bends after we measure it back in the car. I do have some other dimensions up here. We have a 12-foot overall length, which is measured from the bottom of that rocker sill to the bottom of this rocker sill. So I know how much tube I need. So we cut that a little heavy of 12 foot. And I think that's all we got wrote down. Oh, I do have my degrees. I wrote 76 here. I got a different degree meter and it says 70, and the roof is straight at 0. So we're gonna bend it at 70, probably bend it at like 69, 68, and then check fitment on it. Open both the doors, put it in here and see if it follows the line of the B-pillar. And then we'll kind of eyeball measure where we need to start the bend on the 3rd and 4th bends here. So let's get to bending. So guys, this is that 083 docol. Like I said in the last video, it's a chromoly replacement or substitute, however you want to say it. So you can use this in place of chromoly. Drawback is it's very hard to find. The only person that I know or place that I know is AED Motorsports. I'll tag their website link because they actually have a lot of studies on this stuff that shows crush tests, and I put a crush test in the last video, but if you want to go there, do your research. That's why I went with this pipe, with this tube. So yeah, let's get to bending it. I gotta mark it out. So we set our die at 0. You can see my wires on 0. We're going to 70, so. Also, make sure you put grease on your die. Don't use grease, use something light. That die over there on the floor has grease on it. It makes a mess every time you use it. You guys can see we're set up 34 inches, pretty well on the dot from start to bend mark to where the die starts in here, which you can't really see, but we got level. The level is, this is gonna be. to be honest with you. We almost screwed up this main hoop here. I don't know if I had die slippage or what, but I ended up having 35 inches between the starter bend here to the starter bend down there. Mistake number one, when you're using a bender such as this, it's been such a long time since I had used a bender. When I was measuring my start of bend, I was measuring off this, which is the inner shoe. What you need to do is measure off this, which is your backing stop, or I don't know what the technical term is. I call it an outer shoe. So when I measured my start of bend on the main hoop, on the first two bends, I measured from here, which is why I got a 35-inch inner section and not a 34. This added about a half of an inch offset, something like that, to my bend. So that's what my issue was. Measure off this. So this is already a 90-degree bend, but you guys are going to kind of get the idea of it. What I did to save my main hoop when I screwed it up because of my measurement error that I talked about earlier is I took the bend that I already had, which was 68 degrees, and flipped it around to the other side. Now what that did was, as you bend it more, it pulls in at the top. It actually took up a half of an inch on either side. So going from a 68 degree bend, which I originally had, to a 76 degree bend like that, it took away that half of an inch that I was over on each side. It may not have been exact. I don't remember measuring afterwards, but it was enough to fit, and it fits tight. So bend over here. Alright guys, so the first bend over here, we went up to that 1/4 inch mark. The second bend, you can see it is in line with the center. What that will do is give that a 30-degree bend and then take it back away. We should be level or thereabouts. Like I said, this is all a learning process, so we're gonna put a 30-degree bend in this. The bend's gonna be on this side of the line. And hopefully I don't screw it up, because this is probably a $60 to $80 chunk of tube. I forgot how much I paid this system bed.
Look at that.
I think we gotta put more bend in it here because it ain't gonna fit.
Or is it just because it's too long?
No, I want to have this.
Bent a little more?
Yeah, put another 10 degrees in this one here. this is kind of something you just gotta shake off. It's not really fitting how I wanted. So we're gonna have to take this bar and call it junk. Not really much else I can say about it. I tried to put a couple more bends in it to make it fit better, but in the end it's just not gonna work, so we'll start over with a new pipe. So I finally got a result that I'm happy with here, guys. I want to say I'm sorry for not recording how I bent this bar. I ruined two other pieces, as you can see over here, that are 8-foot-ish long. So I was not in a very good mood about ruining that much material. But you can see everything really tucks in nicely and fits the car super well. So I'm super happy with that. As you can see earlier in the video, I had what one of my biggest pet peeves are. Now the thing's moving because I only got it propped up there. But I had one of my biggest pet peeves. The bar was all the way out here, so it was super obtrusive to the driver's view. Drivability is definitely a concern with something that I want to street drive, so I want the cage as tight as I can get it fit into the car. So I'm happy with it now. I'll kind of go over some of the bends, and I apologize for not doing it kind of bend by bend on this, but hopefully I can kind of tell you guys, and you guys can understand where I went with this. What I did on this that kind of helped me out this time is I put the weld down. So this is a seam tube. I put that directly downward. And I bent this bend here first, which is a 30-degree bend. And I did that parallel to the weld. So the weld is right in the throat of this bend. And then when I went to this bend here, I did a 1/2 inch offset. So a 1/2 inch offset to this side was the throat of the bend. So after I fit both those bends in the car, I went and held it up here and then marked the top of it where I wanted it to go. And I bent this 10-degree bend perpendicular up and down, which was a 1/4 inch offset on this weld. So 10 degrees here just to kind of tuck it up and clear this little piece of sheet metal stuff in the roof. Then we did another 25-degree bend here on the seam. And then we did a 5-degree bend here, which was just inward to clear the rocker sill, which it's not tucked as tight as it can be. My thing's off there now, but we're gonna run a bar across here, just like the back sides. I've got a thing on there, but we're gonna run a bar across here and then mount that to that, and then we'll put them plates in and build rocker boxes for him. You can see everything tucks tight. It kind of moved out of place when I bumped it there, but you get the gist. Everything's above the door sill. Nothing's intruding. Super happy with how it turned out. It's been kind of a hectic video to make. It's been like 2 weeks trying to bend this. I've made a lot of mistakes. Had a lot of issues with camera equipment. It's really made me kind of upset and wanted to just kind of give up on filming this video, but hopefully you guys understand some of the lost footage, some of the stuff I put in here that isn't the best quality on mic wise. Hopefully you understand. Hopefully you guys can learn from my mistakes. I've made a lot of them. It doesn't matter how many times you fail, as long as you keep progressing towards your goals. I'm not one to give up. And I know eventually, even if I'm frustrated with it, I'll get it right at one time or another. So that's, you know, perfect example. It's perfect in my opinion. And it's just how I had imagined it. So we're gonna make a mirror image on the other side, and then we'll do the front bars and the rear bars, and then we'll put the floor back in. Don't know how much of that we'll film because it's kind of probably gonna be boring. This is the main part of the cage. So anyways, I appreciate you guys watching. I appreciate the likes. If you guys want to leave me one, share the video, subscribe if you're not. I'll see you on the next one.